Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the cost of sheep and how much it is to keep sheep for, I've had them for about 7 months now. So I did all the calculations and I've kept all my receipts. I've kept all my receipts in regards to feed, supplies, miscellaneous such as like de-icers, medical things, buckets, shears, hoof trimmers, bins, um, halters, which I didn't use now that I think about it. But I figured out the cost for my 6 sheep, which I've had from September, I think, sorry, from October 3rd till March 27th today. So I did the cost and calculations for the 7 months that I've had the sheep, and for a total of 57 bags of feed, it was $1,248.69 for just the bags of feed alone. So that was the starter creep and then moved on to the growing creep. And also the grain type situation. So, and these were about 25 kilogram bags, so about 55-ish pounds. And I did the calculation on that, and that's feeding them at about a pound a day. 0.7 pounds a day. That's about a pound a day per sheep for the 6 of them, which is about 9 to 10 bags every month. So, yeah. I forgot to mention that young animals eat more bagged feed in the beginning months as they grow, but start eating less as they eat more of the hay. This is also a reason why my calculations may not be completely 100% because I did not take into account when they were younger and ate way more feed than when they do now. Also, my sheep may be a little chunky. Hay that they have, which I bought a total of 85 bales of hay, which includes the 60 bales of feed and 25 bales of bedding. And I got that at a decent price. All 85 bales were around $170. And then the cost of the extra things, like I said, the supplies, the de-icers, the tubs, the medical things, the bucket, the shears, all that stuff, including, like, unfortunately, the bad greenhouse, which I know was a mistake, including the fences. Basically, the startup to get everything in order before you can even get sheep was around $1,149. And that's like all the extra things. I could have done better, but I was not 100% sure on what was going to be going on. And also the cost of the sheep themselves for the girls was $152, and that was around $2 a pound. The boys, the first 3 initial boys that I had, so Cooper, Sir, and Big Little Man, Little Dude, sorry. So the girls were $152, and that's for the 3 of them. For the boys, it was $116, and that was the 3 boys. Unfortunately, we lost one of them, and so I had to buy Big Man, and he was $150 himself. So the total of sheep cost for all 6 of them was around $318. And that was just to buy them as little weanlings. Vet bills is about $150-ish. So the entire cost for 7 months with everything, and I did overspoil my sheep, I know that. But the total cost to keep my 6 sheep, for the 7 months that it's been around $3,000 just to have them, even with all the ups and downs that we've had. I will now show you all of my calculations and all this stuff. But yeah, this is what I personally have gone through, even with my ups and downs. You could probably do it for cheaper. I heard that the average startup fee for sheep is around 2,500 to about 3,000. So I'm around there. But yes, this is my entire mess of going through all of my receipts and figuring out what is what, how many bags, and all this stuff. So yeah, around $3,000, give or take, because I had to minus the tax on it, because all this stuff had tax. But yeah, there's my big pile of receipts that I went through all the way from September, October till about March 25th, 26th. But yeah, again, this is all based on what I personally have done for my sheep in regards to the cost, maintenance, and overall well-being of them. Hopefully this helps for if you're thinking about sheep. I would recommend not jumping into them like I did and actually doing a lot more research, but because of my situation and the fact that they were available, I just decided to wing it. So don't just do what I did. Actually do research and everything if you want to have an animal. With any animal, you want to do a lot of research beforehand. With the chickens that we will be getting, I already have done a lot of research, and I will show you that now. Alright, so opening up my book that I just write all my stuff down. I have my steps for birds, and I have basically 3 very detailed step process on how to buy the birds. So step 1, I had make up an area for the birds, ideally get a coop that is able to fit between 4 to 8 laying birds comfortably, because ideally we only want maybe 4 or 5 laying birds for just a few of us. The second one was to find the breeds and breeders, in which for both egg and meat birds, because right now we're just looking at laying birds, and we will maybe be looking into meat birds. And that was just a whole step thing I had written down on that. And then the third and final step was to pick the birds and calculate how many, because I know chicken math is a very real thing, because according to my thing here, if you buy 24 birds, at least 4 will die, leaving you with 20 birds. And when I had done this, I also did all this calculation, I think like 2 years ago, before I even decided that I wanted to do this. Basically, I've been doing lots of research for many, many years. Even before I was able to actually jump in, which is why the sheep were actually technically weren't planned, but they were. I will show you in my mess of things. All this stuff. So again, looking at all this, I also flipped through many pages. I actually, for a while, I was planning out my ideal farm. This is about when I was in grade, I think 8 or 9. I always wanted to have like a little farm. See, acreage, family farm. Yeah, I had a whole little idea of what I wanted to do, and that was wow. And then this was a bit more refined. I wanted ideally around 60 acres and do the whole setup thing. See, I had I think that's a goat, a horse. I did have sheep drawn. I had cows and pigs. I think here, yeah, some pretty weirdness. I even made like a whole breeding sheet so that I wouldn't have to buy a newborn until it was like year 4 or 5 type thing. Basically, to sum everything up, I've been I guess, wanting to do something like this for quite a while, and now that it's actually happening, I'm going back and looking at all my research I did many, many years ago, and prices and everything may be different, but you gotta start somewhere. Another thing that I guess I should have, um, another thing that we were thinking about doing is a garden, because you can't, instead of having to buy groceries, we did want to do a garden. Unfortunately, it's already March, and it is never too late to start, but ideally we would have wanted to have things already seeding and like indoors. But I did do a bunch of stuff on this. I think this was, oh, hello, Herschel. Sorry, kitty cat attack. But I did have plans. This was back in 2019. I started this one. I think this one was Garden with Grandma, because I was living with her at the time. We wanted to do a whole thing. Again, you could see the amount of research I did. I even did up a little drawing of how I wanted it to be. Again, little ideas on how I wanted top view, side view, all that stuff. Let's crochet hand. Yeah, this is just basically my book of everything. Football plays, sorry. There we go, another garden one. So this one I just updated January 2nd of 2023. So I just started, focus please. January 2nd of 2023, I just started doing this. I decided I would label them. But see, we are in zone 3B, because can you focus? Thank you. We are in zone 3B, so St. Clement's area is where I'm about. And I did all this stuff. See, we're going on to our 4th week, so technically I can start broccoli, kale, cauliflower. April 1st I can start tomatoes and bell pepper, so I mean it isn't too late to start. But I don't know if we'll be able to do it because we already have all the animals that we're going to be doing. There, see. I did companion planning because I know I want to do all that stuff. I get all these. Now, ideally, I'm not going to do everything if I were to start a garden this year, but I just want to keep an idea so that I can look back in the future. I even did a crop rotation, tomatoes, cucumber, like all this stuff. I even drew a few plans of what I wanted to do. I know even some natural pest repellent plants. More research, all this boring stuff of what I wanted to do. And then some designs of how I maybe wanted to do it. Oh, this is just the yard design. House is here. This is where the sheep are. This is where we wanted the garden, maybe. This is just a close-up version of it. Chickens, which we were talking about. Maybe a few turkeys. You can see a horribly drawn turkey or chicken. One of the two is whatever. But yeah, that's what we had planned. I don't know if we'll actually go through with it. It's a lot of work, and because I work 6 days a week, yeah. That's basically where my head is at right now, what we were doing, what we were planning, we as in me, because basically this is all me. My stepdad just there as a moral support, and he also said he'll benefit from it, like the sheep, he's going to benefit from getting some of the meat, the vegetables. If I were to do a garden, he would obviously get some because it's on his property. We were maybe looking at goats, but right now we have to figure out the housing situation for the sheep. Just because right now it's not ideal. We know this because they've escaped, they've jumped, and It was a good temporary situation, but now that they're getting older, we want more of a permanent structure. So once the spring comes and the thaw happens, then we'll be able to actually put in the fencing, and we'll be able to put in like actual their actual home base type thing, because like we said, they're just temporarily right where they are now. Um, yeah. So I'm going to be drawing up some designs for their actual home. We do have an idea, and I do see it in my head the way I want it. Um, Basically, design, picture, and draw a few layouts on what you want to happen, and pick from there, kind of decide on which actually you follow. Um, yeah, nothing is perfect. This is the reality. We don't all start off with this big, extravagant idea of having a farm and it all goes to plan. No, there are ups and downs in every homestead, even when just starting out. And as much as no one wants to show the bad things, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to show the good, the bad, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'll come back to you soon. Angel, you want to say anything? No?